Hello again, everybody. I got a little bit of burst of energy, so I'm actually recording this right after the last video. I don't know if I'll upload it right away. I might wait a day or two. Or I might have waited a day or two because you'll be watching this in the future. Anyways, as you can see, you can actually see a lot of what I picked up. I have another stack over here and a small stack still in a bag. I kept these in a bag because there's a little bit of a story that goes with these. I need to learn to look at the camera, not the computer monitor. So I'll start with these since I have them in my hand. The little bit of a story with these is one night I woke up and I had a dream that I went to a store and they had just like a thrift store and they had just stacks and stacks and stacks of boxed PC games, and just thinking it was a dream, like I've had that dream many of times. I didn't go run around to all the thrift stores, but maybe it was maybe a couple weeks, maybe a month later or so. I went to a thrift store that I don't usually go to very often because they are usually pretty bad with their pricing, and they had stacks and stacks of boxed PC stuff. Some were games, some were programs. They were all fairly old, but most of them were like, actually I think all of them were sealed. So by the time I got there, there wasn't very much of a selection. I don't know what they had. They may have had brand new sealed copies of Daggerfall and stuff like that. But by the time I got there, it was all pretty much nothing really that great. But I picked up two of everything that they had that was mildly decent. Nothing that great though. First up, Operation Combat 2. The boxes on these are kind of a little bit smushed, but they were actually marked $1, and they're yellow tags, which is this thrift store goes by every week. They have a tag color that's half off and another tag color that's $1. These ones were not the half off color, but they were marked at being half off. Because I guess they wanted to get rid of all the boxed PC stuff. Then I have two of the Amazon Trail. These boxes are in a lot better condition. Two of Super Solvers Outnumbered. Again, I just picked these up because I didn't want them to be trashed. I do that sometimes. And I actually have one game here that I bought, and I paid way too much for it, but I can't seem to find it here right now. But it was at a church thrift store that was going out of business, and they had this thing where they did eBay prices printouts, and I guess the game had been listed or sold for like $30 at one point, and they had it for like $25 or something, but everything was like half off because they were going out of business. And it was a reissue of F-15 Strike Eagle 2, but like I said, it was half off, so I think I paid like $12 for it, but I just didn't want to see it go to waste, so I picked it up, paid more for it than I really wanted to. And I'll do that from time to time. And then finally, long story longer, two copies of the Oregon Trail budget release version of course. It wasn't the original because it's by the Learning Company. And I think the original was Mecca or something like that. Something like that. I can't remember offhand. Next up, let's start with this stack that you can't see. I know I recorded these two, but I don't know if I uploaded them yet, or if I will upload the unboxing. I bought these off of the Shop Goodwill website, which I have a hard time recommending because of... Actually, I think I got this one off of eBay. I almost bought it off of Shop Goodwill, but I found it on eBay cheaper. But Mean Streets. Then this one I know I got off Shop Goodwill because I was pissed. Because, let me show you. They had these... was it this one? I thought it was this one, but maybe it wasn't. I don't know. But they didn't pack it very well. It was just whatever game it was. I thought it was this one. It was just in a big priority mailbox, loose, and it was just flying around. And by the time it had gotten to me, one of the covers off the floppy disk had fallen off. But Manhunter 2. I don't remember what that was. I picked these two up at the same time at the same thrift store, and I hated that they did this, but they had put tape over the box. This one, of course, as you could see, was Battle Chest Collection, which includes the original Battle Chest 4000, Battle Chest 2 Chinese chess, and Battle Chess... Oh, the enhanced CD-ROM edition. Okay. And then Oregon Trail 3rd edition. The Pioneer Adventures. But there's a little bit of damage to the box. I think this was half off for $2, same as the other one. And then there's the multiplayer edition of Civilization 2 Gold. But it's the Mac version, but I don't really care because it's just going on my shelf. Then there's the Mac version of Age of Empires, the Mac version of Warcraft 2 Tides of Darkness, Game of the Year version, or I guess it's not, it's just a sticker, never mind. And Warcraft Orcs and Humans for Macintosh. But again, I don't really care because it's going on a shelf. I picked up Flight Mania, which includes F-15, Nuclear Strike, Israeli Air Force, United States, NF, Naval, I don't know, USNF 97, MiG-29, Comanche Gold. I really know my military stuff, man. I'm like MLG Pro over here. Wizards and Warriors Collector's Edition. Does it have the game? I think it does. Pretty sure. Yeah, it has the game, but it doesn't have anything that makes it the Collector's Edition, unfortunately. And this kind of makes me sad. This isn't going to show up because I don't have autofocus or auto exposure on because it screws with my frame rate. But it has a price tag from Electronics Boutique for $4.99. I just wish I could just go back in time. But that's every game collector ever says that. Then this one I bought off of eBay, but I had already opened it. Betrayal in Antara. This will be going up on my shelf as a place of honor because I love the Betrayal games. They're my favorite really computer series ever. And to switch it up, let's go to the I bought a few small box games primarily to resell. Impossible Creatures. I think I maybe showed you guys these, this one and the next one, but I'm not entirely sure. But Impossible Creatures. And Return of Arcade, which most of the Return of Arcades aren't, or maybe it's just Microsoft Arcade, but they're not worth much, but the Return of Arcade includes Miss Pac-Man, which this version was worth a little bit more. And then I just picked this up recently, actually. The special edition of Jade Empire. which I may keep that one for myself. I'm not entirely sure, and I may keep this one for myself. I'm not sure yet. But what else is in here? Oh yes, Battle for Middle Earth 2: Rise of the Witch King, which for some reason has a play disc for Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2. I don't know why, but it was in there. Did I just do? I don't know. It wouldn't close, but now it did. And now let's do the jewel case games. And a lot of these I actually bought to resell to buy boxed versions. Risk 2, a manual and disc for Gabriel Knight Sins of the Father. I actually picked this up because I wasn't sure if my box had the manual with it, but it did. So the limited edition of Gabriel Knight Mysteries, which includes Gabriel Knight 1, Gabriel Knight 2, and the graphic novel and a soundtrack CD. Set that one aside for right now. Alien vs. Predator 2, Total Mayhem, Star Wars Battlegrounds Clone Campaigns, the first Warcraft, Jazz Jackrabbit, which I found at the same thrift store as I found Jazz Jackrabbit 2. However, I found it like 2 months later, which is cool for me. Oh, my dog's snoring. I'm sorry. I didn't know what that sound was. Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis. I know I want to say there's two versions. There's like an adventure game and a platformer, Fate of Atlantis. I think that's the one. There's some Indiana Jones games that on PC that had a adventure game and a platformer version game. I think they have the same name. I don't know which one this is yet. I haven't tested it. WrestleMania, the arcade game. Mission Force Cyberstorm, which I really recommend this game if you like strategy games. I don't like strategy games, but I really loved this game when I was a kid. A shareware version of Doom. Harpoon 2 Admiral's Edition, which is a really weird naval strategy game, but it's not really graphical. I recommend, if you're interested in seeing what it looks like, go to Moby Games and search for it. It's really weird. Railroad Tycoon 2 Platinum, a multi-disc that includes Railroad Tycoon, a David Ledbetter's Greens, and B-17 Flying Fortress. Roller Coaster Tycoon Deluxe. Hansel and Gretel and the Enchanted Castle, which I don't remember what it was worth, but I remember looking it up and realizing that it's worth a little bit of money. The Star Trek The Next Generation Interactive Technical Manual, which really isn't worth anything. Hold on, excuse me 1 second. Sentinel Returns. Norse by Norse West. I did this last time I did this. And Red Jack. Revenge of the Brethren. I really don't know why I bought this. It was just cheap. I think it was like 50 cents or something when I picked it up. Okay, let me just straighten this up 1 second real quick, so it doesn't fall all over the place. Now for a change of pace. This I bought at a Goodwill, of course. It was in a big tub, and you see what it is. It was in a big tub with like there was maybe like 100 of these and some other one that looked kind of like an ape, and I had no idea what this was. I bought this August of last year. I had no idea what it was. I just knew it looked cool. It looked like a Cthulhu monster with a gun, and I kind of plan on taking it out of the case and setting it up on my shelf maybe at one point. But interestingly, if you watched Ashens, you probably recognize this. He did a video of the series that this came out of. They had different monsters, and this was one of them. For some reason, this one is just in a plastic baggie. They were all like this. None of them had a box with it or anything, so it's kind of strange, but I finally know what it's from, and that's cool. Okay, next up, let's do this stack of games. Jones in the Fast Lane. Red Baron. AH-64D Longbow. And I think this has a book, like a big, massive book in it. I don't know. Maybe I'm mistaken, but it's really heavy. Yeah, I thought it was a strategy guide, but it's just the instruction booklet. Yeah, the instruction booklet. Now I can't get it back in the box. Well, I'll just set this down for now. Gunship 2000. Sim Earth, which I actually found this in with the jigsaw puzzles and board games. I actually almost missed it until I saw, just peeking out at me was the little Maxis symbol, and I was like, oh sweet. I didn't know what it was, but I knew it was Maxis, so I wanted to pick it up. Speaking of that, I bought Robert Winter's Crazy for Ragtime. I have no idea really what this is. I don't know, but it was distributed by Maxis, so I wanted to pick it up. The 11th Hour. I think I actually have a copy of this, but I didn't remember that I had it at the time when I bought it because all my games were in boxes in storage. European Air War. The top has been ripped off, but it's in here, and at some point, once I have more time, I kind of want to go through and try to restore some boxes, but I don't know if I'll actually get to that. SWAT 3. I almost didn't pick this up because after SWAT 2, I really have no interest in the SWAT games, but it wasn't that much, and I think I was kind of wanting to buy something, so I picked this up. Next, for another change of pace, let's go to, hold on one second, my books that I picked up. First off, a Choose Your Own Adventure book, Star Trek Voyage to Adventure. This I thought was really cool. It's a guide to operations for a PC Junior. Appears to be complete, even includes a little sampler floppy. And what kind of annoyed me was at the same thrift store, at the same day that I found this, I found the Sim Earth, and I found this right here, which is another PC Junior title. It's not a game, but I picked it up anyways. I'll get to that later. But I found those two things at the same time as I found this, and I imagine somebody probably donated a PC Junior, and Goodwill probably threw it out or sent it to be recycled instead of even trying to put it on their floor, which sucks. Because I probably would have picked it up if it wasn't that expensive. I got this, which is a Linux certification booklet, study guide. I kind of have a thing for programming books and Linux books and stuff. If I see them out, I'll typically pick them up if they're... I've said this before in a video, if they're a language that I'm mildly interested in or a topic that I'm mildly interested in. This I picked up because I loved... he had a TV show out called Connections, which showed, connection between things that happened in history. And this was like a book version of it, The Day the Universe Changed by James Burke. This I actually picked up mainly because I was intending to... That probably made a loud sound in the microphone. I was intending to trade it in at Amazon because it actually trades in for a fairly decent amount. But it's The Art of Electronics, second edition by Paul Horowitz and Winfield Hill. But I haven't traded it in yet, and I don't know for certain if I will. This was at a church thrift store in a book section that was... all the books were free in that section, but I kind of felt bad I didn't buy anything else, and so I just donated $1. But it's the C++ coach. Usually I'll look up books to see how many stars they're rated on Amazon, to see if they're mildly worth getting, but sometimes I just pick them up just because. And I bought this. It's an old textbook, school textbook from 88, 89. There was an actual name in here. It said it was new in 88, 89, but it's just computer programming and basic. As you probably could tell, I'm kind of interested in vintage computing, so that's why I picked this up. And it was only like a quarter or something at a Salvation Army. Finally, for the books in this video, Sam's Teach Yourself Game Programming in 24 Hours. I have no idea if this is good. I have no idea if I'll ever actually read through it, but I have a compulsion to buy programming books. Finally, the last stack. We have Battle Arena Toshinden 2, which I actually wasn't even sure that I knew that it was on PC, but it was. Command & Conquer Tiberian Sun. I really don't know why I bought this. I'm not really a big fan of Command & Conquer games. Not that they're bad, I'm not really into strategy games too much. But I picked it up. I think it was fairly cheap, I think is why I bought it, and I just wanted to save it. This was the PC Junior title that I mentioned earlier. It's Bank Street Writer. It's a word processor. I don't usually buy non-games, but I do from time to time if it has like an interesting box to it, and I just thought it was kind of neat, the old family sitting around a computer all happy. I'll set that down there because it's very fragile. It's all mushed. This made my day when I found this. But it's a sealed copy of DOS 6.22 Upgrade Edition. And this will also go on my shelf in a place of honor because the best Microsoft operating system ever created right here. I mean, awesome right there. That's just awesome, Again, it goes in with the writer that I picked up. It's Word Writer 4. I don't know why I bought it. It was only $2, and I thought it was kind of cool. SimCity 2000, the CD collection, which includes SimCity 2000 and the expansion packs that came out for it. Homeworld Game of the Year Edition. Again, this is one of the games I bought to rescue from a thrift store. The day I found this, it was a Salvation Army, and I walked in, and they were going through their like kitchen appliance section and throwing stuff out that had been sitting there too long. And when I saw this, I looked, and the date was like 2 months prior, and I thought they're likely to throw this out, so if somebody doesn't rescue it, so I did. And it was $2.50, but it was actually half off because it was 2 months later than when I found it, than the date on the sticker. Almost done here, just a few more. King's Quest Collection series. I actually saw this at a thrift store. I opened it up. I usually open games up to see if there's all the game discs are in it, and it's actually missing disc 1, which was probably a good thing because when I was checking it out, some guy who was also looking at the CDs was like, "Oh, hey, that's missing disc 1," and I was like, "Oh yeah, I just saw that, but I don't really care." And he probably would have bought it to sell on eBay, which, I mean, that's fine. Do what he wants to do. But he didn't because it's missing a disc, and good for me. Okay, next up we have Saber Team, which, again, I mean, it looks interesting, but I probably would never play it. But, I mean, it's just cool. You know, cool box art. And then Commander Blood. Again, just the box art is really what I care about. And finally, for this video, this game, I'll go through on eBay and I'll search for lots of box PC games, and if I see any, I'll click on them and see how much they are, how much shipping is, and if I'm interested in the titles, I'll maybe try to pick it up if it's not too much. And this was in one of the lots. However, it was in a lot. It was like $30 or $40 for the whole thing, and I didn't recognize the title of the game, so I actually Googled it to see what it was like, and there was very little, if any, information on this game that I could find. The only thing I really found was a GOG.com forum post of some guy asking if anybody had a copy of this game, because he had remembered it from when he was younger. But I really just did not want to pay the $40 or so that the bundle, the lot, costs. So I waited, and I hoped that nobody would bid on it, and nobody did. So I sent the seller an email, and I was like, "Hey, I didn't want to bother you when the auction was going on, but nobody bid on it. I'm interested in one of the games that you had for sale. Can you sell it to me? Maybe make a listing just for that game, and I'll bid on it and buy it." But they just wanted to go outside of email, and I risked it outside of eBay. I took a chance on it, and they came through. But it's the Better Dead Ratification, and as you can see, the box is completely trashed. I mean, it's completely mushed to, so I could have sat on this thing and it would have looked better. And I knew that when I bought it. I mean, it was clear as day that it was mushed. It was actually sealed when I got it, but I opened it up because I wanted to get the game out, and I actually plan on trying to rip the game, because it's a Macintosh game. I don't think this ever came out on PC. But I was trying to rip a copy of it, but I didn't actually get a chance to get to that yet. So the game is still actually sealed. But, yeah, I wanted to rip it and maybe preserve it for the future. But yeah, this is... Even though I don't know what this game is like, just because it's so unheard of, it's kind of like one of my favorite things that I have. And I do plan on down the road trying to restore the box a little bit, cutting out pieces of cardboard that I can fit inside to sturdy up the edges. And I guess that's it for now. I have quite a few more box PC games that I need to show you guys, but I just wanted to get this out here, show everybody, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you watch the next video. Have a good day.